When you are changing that self-perception, when you are changing the way that you perceive yourself so that you can idolize yourself, so many things around you will shift. This is where the magic is. But I'm sure some of you are sitting there thinking, I don't even know what I want to do. I don't even know what I like. To be honest, I don't even know who I am. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and this channel is all about becoming the coolest person that you know so that you can live an extraordinary life, and if you choose to do so, build an extraordinary business. Today's video has no other point than to help you fall in love with yourself. Nay, to help you idolize yourself. I am so passionate about helping you to perceive yourself differently because I truly believe, if you've seen any of my other videos, that when you perceive yourself positively, when you see yourself positively, when you become the coolest person that you know, your life will change. There is so much content on the internet all about changing your life, and so much of it deals with the external. All of the things that you need to buy and the routines that you need to have to become that girl, or whatever it may be. There is so much content out there that tells you to change the external to change your life. And I just feel like there is such a better way to go about it. When you change the way you perceive yourself, when you change the way you see yourself, everything around you changes. And so when you start to idolize yourself, you will feel hotter. Success will flow to you. Opportunities will flow to you. People will flow to you. You will become so goddamn magnetic that you're actually going to have to start beating off people. You're actually going to have to start fending off the opportunities because so much will be flowing to you. But anyway, I have talked a lot about this on my channel, and so I wanted to do a little bit of a different video today, a little bit of a different advice column where I gave you advice on idolizing yourself and becoming the coolest person that you know, but I'm actually going to do this in collaboration with one of my friends, Gabriella Rosie. Here's the thing, Gabriella actually has no idea that I'm filming this video. She actually has no idea that we are collaborating together. Gabriella is such a talented artist who, as a matter of fact, has a lot of the same values as I do, and we have a lot of the same perspectives. She is an incredibly talented artist who, one of her main products is actually these amazing card decks, and her whole concept is make art, be hot. She loves to help artists to feel amazing about themselves so that they can share their art with the world. Very similar to what I do with helping people to become the coolest person that they know so that they can build an incredible platform and change the world. So anyway, I was pulling cards from her deck this morning and I was like, I want to share these in a video. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some cards from Gabriella's Bad Bitch deck, which is a deck all about idolizing yourself, becoming the coolest person that you know, feeling like the baddest bitch alive. And I'm going to pull a bunch of cards from this deck and give you some advice. This video is for no other purpose than for you to come back to every time you just need that boost of motivation, every time you need that girly chat, every time you just wake up feeling a little bit funky, you're just not on your game, and you're like, you know what, I need some bad bitch energy. I need to sit down with one of my best friends, Erin May Henry, of course, one of my prettiest friends, and I just need that boost of motivation. So let's jump into it. I'm gonna start pulling some cards. So the first card is I am the love of my life. This card is for all of my people pleaser friends out there. I mean, myself included. So many women have been brought up to put other people first, to be at the service of others. We are natural born nurturers, which means that we quite often are putting people first. But I will tell you, it is impossible to live an extraordinary life if you don't fall in love with yourself and prioritize yourself in the same way that you prioritize people. You really need to get to the point where you love yourself just as much as you love other people. And I know that seems so elementary, but in my becoming the coolest person I know concept, one thing I like to teach is taking it one step further. Rather than just becoming the love of your life, falling in love with yourself and treating yourself just as good as you treat everybody else, if not better, you also need to learn to like yourself. You need to become the love of your life, but you need to like yourself just as you would like a partner in a friendship or in a relationship. There is a big difference in loving yourself inherently to the point where you would naturally take care of yourself, and and actually liking the person that you are. This is why I absolutely love to use the words idolizing yourself, even though I know it triggers a lot of people. It almost sounds narcissistic in nature, but it's not supposed to be. Idolizing yourself and liking yourself and loving yourself and becoming the love of your life is not pedestaling you above anyone else. And it doesn't mean that you still can't be at the service of other people. You absolutely can take care of others and do amazing things in this world, but you will probably find yourself feeling resentful or feeling exhausted if you don't put yourself in the same standard as others. Idolizing yourself is not saying I am better than other people. It's just putting yourself up there. I want to ask you right now, in all honesty, and maybe if you're open to sharing in the comments, like, where do you rank yourself in comparison to all the people that you experience on a day-to-day basis? Partner, your family, your friends, people you interact with online. Where do you rank yourself? When you think about yourself, are you way lower than everyone else, comparing yourself to everyone else? Do you put yourself higher? Either way, you just want to be up there. You want to be up there in your priorities, in your idolization, in your like, and in your love. I am my own muse. So the next card that I have pulled is I am my own muse. And the reason why I chose this card is because specifically for those of you out there who follow my channel because you do want to become an entrepreneur or a content creator, I think one of the reasons why so many of us get stuck, maybe to do with the first reason that I just shared, is because we get in these cycles of comparison. But the thing is, we actually do it accidentally. How many times have you sought inspiration? How many times have you gone and hired a mentor, or maybe just try to learn from someone online, maybe even watching this video right now, and yet you found yourself falling into that comparison trap? What was meant to be a positive, inspirational experience maybe led to you actually feeling worse off than you did to begin with. I think if this is the case, I think if you are constantly seeking inspiration or motivation or education and yet feeling terrible about yourself afterwards, you really need to implement this card, which is I am my own muse. You need to get inspired by yourself. This is actually a big part of the becoming the coolest person I know concept, because there are so many things that I have implemented within my life. For example, my style, hobbies, passions, interests, even just the music that I listen to. I have created this, I don't want to say caricature because it's not a caricature, but I've created a personality. I've created a version of myself. I've created myself, so much so that when it is time to create things for my business or for my YouTube channel or for my Instagram, I can actually inspire myself. I don't need to look at what everybody else is doing. I can just spend time with me, being all of myself, being my most authentic self, and that is enough to generate the inspiration that I need to create. For example, I absolutely love style and fashion and experimenting with things like, I'm wearing fucking star glasses right now, but it is like getting ready and experimenting with style and listening to certain music that I love, that I enjoy, that activates the inspiration that becomes the muse for the things that I need to create. Like setting up this little scene, wearing these glasses has inspired me to create this video. And so I think the more that you build yourself, the more that you become the coolest person that you know, the more that you explore yourself, the more that you define yourself, the more that you are going to be able to inspire yourself, and the less that you are going to need to compare yourself to other people. Bad bitches make it happen. Something that I have said from early on in my journey, I actually used to put this in some of my programs, is that you have to take 100% responsibility 100% of the time. Like, if you truly want to become the coolest person you know, idolize yourself, be a bad bitch, do all of this amazing stuff, and just live an extraordinarily delicious life, you have to take responsibility for taking action. When you find yourself in a season of procrastination, when you find yourself in a season of avoidance, when you are not feeling good, you have to do the things. Do the things to make yourself feel good. Do the things to achieve your goals. You cannot expect to live a new experience without doing new things, without becoming a new person. I so many times, like, I'm just gonna call myself out here, so many times I found myself in a negative space, in a negative mindset, and even though I have these BTC pick tools that I have created, they're all inside of my BTC pick toolkit, by the way, which you again, check out using the link in the description. I have an entire toolkit of all the tools I use to bounce back from a negative space and to become the coolest person I know. But even though I have these tools at my disposal, there have been times where I am just blaming everybody else. I'm blaming the internet. I'm blaming the industry, pointing the finger rather than taking responsibility for my own emotional state, rather than taking responsibility for my own success, for my own mindset, and for my own experience. You really, really have to make things happen. You have to take the action. Sitting around waiting for somebody else to save you or for something miraculous to happen is going to keep you stuck. And I know we all believe in manifestation. I know we are all sitting here being like, I just want to manifest millions of dollars by like laying on my bed and being fed grapes. That is 100% a reality I would love to live in. But unfortunately, the likelihood is very low. If you want to become a very successful content creator or a personal brand or an entrepreneur, go out there, post the content, go out there, start the business, sell the thing, talk about your business, put yourself out there online, network, work on your mindset, work on your energetic state, work on feeling good so that you are more magnetic throughout your content. Like, take responsibility 100% of the time for taking action, and realize if things aren't moving, then it's within your control to actually change that. I am so fucking lucky to be me. Honestly, this is my version of the lucky girl syndrome. I have my qualms with the lucky girl syndrome because I'm like, I don't want to put all of the things that I've achieved in my life, this YouTube channel, my successful business, all of the things that I have become, I don't want to put that down to luck. Like, I worked for that. I took action. I took bad bitch action. But one thing that I do feel extremely lucky for is that I am me. And you should feel lucky for being you. Look, I'm not trying to tread in the waters of privilege. I understand that there are people who have far better off situations than one another. In the process of thinking about self-idolization, in the process of thinking about your mindset being within your control and everything that you create being within your control, and how you feel about what is possible gets to determine what you do in this lifetime, and also thinking about the fact that there is nobody else who has your story, nobody else who is you. And I know that's so corny to say, but it is so true. You know, you have like a 1 in 400 trillion chance of being born. You know, all of the variable factors that go into you being conceived. Honestly, it is so slim. So the fact that you are here is a miracle within itself. Again, if we go back to that first point that I spoke about, we often put everybody else on this pedestal above us. We often say they are so lucky to be them. They are such an incredible person. They're so pretty. They're so talented. They're so skilled. And we ruminate on how amazing everybody else is. We should be putting that effort into ruminating on how incredible we are. That is actually one of the tools that I utilize in the BTC Pick toolkit. You have to be taking stock. I call it the mental mantelpiece. You have to be taking stock of the incredible human being that you are, like a mantelpiece, putting up trophies of all the incredible things that you've done, all of the incredible things that you are, all of the incredible things that you think, all the incredible things that you say. Like, the more that you are feeling as though you are so lucky to be you, you are changing that self-perception. When you are changing that self-perception, when you are changing the way that you perceive yourself so that you can idolize yourself, so many things around you will shift. This is where the magic is. This is where like the unexplainable magic is. When you change the way you see yourself, every single thing in your life will change. Not even miraculous, just because of the way that you show up in the world and the things that you choose to do and the action that you take. Speaking about taking action, the next card is bad bitches do whatever the fuck they want. This episode obviously has a little bit of a theme because some of the biggest issues that I see women facing, one of the biggest blocks that I see women facing is them not prioritizing themselves, them not choosing themselves. How many times have you said that you can't follow your dreams, you can't take action, you can't build that business, you can't create that content because you don't have time? And I guarantee that if you were to take stock of where your time goes, much of it would be doing things that you don't want to do to please other people. How many situations are you in your life? Friendships, jobs, relationships. How many things in your life right now are not bringing you pleasure, are not the place that you truly, if you were really, really honest with yourself, where you desire to actually be, because we're too polite. We're too polite to leave friendships, leave relationships, leave jobs. We're too committed. We're too nurturing to hurt anybody else. I know so many women who won't have an uncomfortable conversation that could lead to total freedom for the rest of their life because they just don't want to hurt anyone. If you truly want to idolize yourself, put yourself first, become the coolest person that you know so that you can become hotter, richer, more successful, and live a deliciously extraordinary life, you have to do what you want to do. This isn't even about rebellion. This is not you starting some kind of like revolution where you're like, I'm burning my bra, I'm quitting my job, and I'm going to live in the forest. It's not about extremism. It literally is just about you checking in with what you want, with what you truly desire. It's about saying to yourself, if it's not a fuck yes, honestly, it's a fuck no. Like, if I truly don't want to do this, I don't have to do it. Like, I know this is like the 80-20 rule. There are absolutely going to be things in life that you have to do because of an obligation or just because, you know, like going to a friend's wedding. Maybe you don't really want to do it because like her friends are kind of lame, but she's your best friend and you want to support her. That's life. But for the most part, how often are you choosing other people over yourself? Be really honest. Like, be really honest. Let me know in the comments, because that is your declaration to stop that behavior. That is your declaration to start choosing yourself. You will never get ahead in life. You will never get to where you want to go if you aren't doing what you want to do. And if you do get ahead successfully, like within your career, doing what everybody else wants you to do, you're going to end up miserable. I know so many people who've built businesses, relationships, careers off the back of what they thought they should do for society, for their friends, for their family, and they end up burnt out. You know, we burn out when we're doing things that we don't want to do. Like, okay, sure, you can burn out if there's still too much of a good thing. For the most part, people are feeling resentful, they're feeling tired, they're feeling cranky because they are living a life that is simply out of accordance with what you truly, truly desire. It really is as simple as asking yourself, is this something I actually want? And if it's no, don't do it. Speaking of doing things you want, the next card is seek pleasure. Seek your pleasure, it actually says. This is such a big part of the becoming the coolest person you know concept, BTC pick, right? Because this was really birthed out of me choosing myself, choosing what felt good, but you have to get in touch with what feels good. And I think understanding sensual pleasure, and I want to explain that because it's not a sexual thing, but understanding pleasure, understanding sensual pleasure is the first port of call. Because I just went on this full rant about you doing what you truly desire to do. But I'm sure some of you are sitting there thinking, I don't even know what I want to do. I don't even know what I like. To be honest, I don't even know who I am. I've got lots of videos on that. But if you don't know what it is you like, start exploring sensual pleasure. Your 5 senses. What do you enjoy to listen to? What music do you actually enjoy to listen to? Go on Spotify, choose any random playlist and see how that music makes you feel. There will be some songs where you're like, nah, it just doesn't resonate, right? It just doesn't feel good. Then something will come on, the beat, the melody, the lyrics, unexplainable feeling that it gives you when you listen to that song. That's what pleasure feels like. Food. Go to a restaurant, try a bunch of tapas or small plates. Some things you will like and some things you will not like. Really pay attention to the visual experiences that you have throughout the day. What do you like the look of? I really, really like the look of these plants. I think they're gorgeous. The color is gorgeous. So that I know what brings me pleasure visually, taste, audibly, actually touch things. Like, I really like this fluffy pillow versus, I don't know, rubbing my hand on a freaking tree trunk or the concrete. I know that seems silly, but your 5 senses, sensual pleasure, actually unlock experiences that teach you how to identify what it is that you do like and what it is that you don't like. You can then carry over that same behavior into less tangible experiences. Like, do I I feel those feel good feelings, those sensual feelings, hanging out with this person versus that person? Because maybe you haven't even thought about which of your friends actually make you feel good and which ones you are having an obligatory relationship with. When it comes to taking action within your business, creating content, creating products, selling, does this actually feel good? I mean, obviously fear aside, because fear never really feels that great, but fear aside, like, do I actually enjoy the sensual experience of these actions that I need to take? The more that you can understand the yes and no gauge of what feels good and what doesn't, the more that you can create a life that is in accordance to what you actually want. Remember, bad bitches do whatever the fuck they want, but you got to know what you want by knowing what feels good and what doesn't. And the last card is, I am making my whole life beautiful. I filmed a video a few years ago here on this channel where I talked about Pinterest. I'm obsessed with Pinterest because it makes me feel some kind of way. When I spend time on Pinterest and just looking at these images, it just evokes visually the visual stimulation of these images that are curated obviously because of me and what I've pinned in the past, so it's algorithmically benefiting my visual stimulation. That was a whole lot of words to say nothing, but anyway, I just love the way Pinterest makes me feel. And a couple of years ago, I was like, I need to experience this IRL. I need to experience this in my real life. And so I did start curating my life. This is why I change my style so often, if you haven't noticed or if you haven't flicked back far enough on my channel or if we're just meeting. But I change my style quite regularly based on what I'm currently inspired by. I don't let my inspiration and my feel-good inspiration live on the internet. I know it's not possible to, let's say, change your entire wardrobe or home decor every freaking 3 months, as if you're like me, or, you know, seasonally. But the thing is, I try to bring as much of that visual feel-good experience into my life as possible. Even if it is just buying a few items of clothing, even if it is going to different restaurants, even if it is just having different aesthetic experiences. Like, I was really into, I don't know, sort of like Japanese style. So I was going to like a lot of game arcades when I first started experimenting with color. And now I'm really into, I don't know, like Playboy style. So I'm just like watching more Y2K, Girls of the Playboy Mansion-esque reality shows. Like, I'm doing the things and trying to live as much as possible based on what's currently inspiring me versus just allowing the internet to be this space that I'm inspired by and my life being something that is a bit of a judge. And again, you don't need to have a bunch of money. It's just about experiencing, bringing to life what is currently inspiring you as much as possible, because that is putting in effort to live a beautiful life. And I know you could have every single freaking excuse under the sun, like I live with other people, so I can't change my house, or whatever it might be, I don't have any time. Those are excuses. You have to realize those are excuses. And if you really called yourself out on that and went back to one of the previous cards and took responsibility for taking action, it can be the simplest things. It can be the simplest of things, like buying yourself a freaking bunch of flowers if you're in your like floral girly era, or listening to a different type of music on your commute to work. It's just about choosing the things that feel good, that make your life beautiful. So my loves, that is it for me. How to idolize yourself, how to love your life, how to become the baddest bitch alive. Thank you so much to Gabriella Rosie for collaborating with me on this video with your beautiful, beautiful bad bitch affirmation card deck. I know that you had no idea you were collaborating with me on this video, but I want everyone to go spam her and send her love, because her art is absolutely incredible. It inspired me, and I hope it inspired you to have this conversation. Like I said, if you want to keep coming back to this video every time you need just a little bit of a pep talk, do so. Save it. And if you want more like this, please do let me know. I love you so much. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.